From tying the knot with Ryan Sweeting 6 months after their blind date, to starting a family with Tom Pelphrey after 2 painful divorces, here's the real reason why Kaley Cuoco will not marry again. Unlike the happy-go-lucky Penny of The Big Bang Theory, it seems like Cuoco's been through some ups and downs in her own time, and despite the professional success, her love life didn't always go as planned. I guess it all boils down to her first 2 failed marriages, starting with the rushed relationship with Ryan in 2013, a month after her summer fling ended with Henry Cavill. Yep, it seems like Kaley moves on fast. Even at the time, she claimed she wasn't ready to meet anyone and was taking a break from love. But it only took 1 drink and a few days to know that Ryan was the one. Fast forward to 6 months later, Cuoco and Sweeting were engaged and tied the knot on New Year's Eve with a surprise ceremony. Even a few weeks later, Sweeting gushed about his wife at a pre-Grammys party, saying he couldn't be happier and that marrying Kaley had changed his whole outlook on life. Now getting engaged within 6 months shows their whirlwind romance could have easily gone the other way. I mean, they literally went on a blind date and moved in the next day. But I guess what worked out for the couple at the time was that they both felt like each other's soulmates, and that's probably why they couldn't keep their hands off of each other, whether it was on the beach or sitting courtside at a Lakers game. Having said that, the breakup came in sooner than fans expected, about 2 years after rushing to the altar, and in September 2015, the Big Bang Theory star filed for divorce, claiming they couldn't work out their differences. Obviously, fans bombarded them with questions over their sudden separation, but the couple's decision was mutual, and all they needed was some privacy. Over time, while Ryan took a vow of silence, Kaley started opening up about her feelings, claiming that marriage changed her soulmate and she didn't end up with the same person she met on all their first few dates, pinning the blame on Ryan. And it turns out she wasn't all that wrong, because when their divorce was finalized in May 2016, she was literally forced to pay him $165,000, and I'm not even adding up the attorney fees yet. Now, this figure didn't just pop up out of the blue and instead comes from her success on The Big Bang Theory, which had her earning about $1 million for every single episode. And if you think about it, the entirety of her marriage to Sweeting happened while she was still a part of the CBS sitcom, and that's exactly why the athlete was entitled to a huge chunk of her earnings during their marriage. Although Cuoco had already thought it through and future-proofed against such a disaster by signing a prenup that saved her the responsibility of any form of spousal support. But even then, she couldn't get herself out of the $165,000 settlement, topped with attorney fees of about $55,000. But I gotta say, given her net worth, I doubt she felt the pinch of paying little over $200,000 to Sweeting. But the emotional fallout was way more intense than you'd expect, and that's when she went as far as saying she'd never get married again, mostly because the tennis player ruined the experience for her, and this made her super cautious. But thankfully, things turned around when she met Carl Cook at a horse show, who seemed to share a lot in common with her. I mean, are you forgetting the fact that Cuoco is a horse lover? She's even got experience with equestrian competitions. So how would she feel if she met a professional horseman at a horse show who shared the same for animals and the sport? It's pretty obvious she was immediately intrigued by his way with horses. So it didn't take long before Kaley rushed into another relationship in 2016. Looking back at their relationship, they had a lot more in common than just horses. And I'm even talking about similar temperaments, insecurities, and flaws. To top it off, money was never a source of friction for the couple either, since Cook's father was the co-founder of Intuit, and Cuoco was one of the highest-paid actresses on television. Eventually, they got married in 2018, right after Cook posted the tearful and adorable proposal video on Instagram for the world to see. And there's no doubt that the rustic, on-brand wedding was the perfect expression of their unique love for each other. From then on, their marriage seemed picture perfect, with Cook putting their honeymoon on hold and taking care of Cuoco after her shoulder injury, to their love for their pets. I mean, at one point, they even claimed they were ready to start a family with each other. And just when fans were hoping for things to turn around this time for Cuoco, her second marriage also ended ended in divorce in June 2022. I've got to say, with that kind of pattern, the California-born star proved that she's not really the biggest fan of dating anymore, and instead, she's set on being a serial monogamist. And now, fans following her personal life find her lifestyle choices absolutely exhausting, and even Cuoco doesn't blame him. I mean, right now, she's hopped into another relationship with Tom Pelphrey, and back on November 3rd, 2022, the two were spotted wearing matching rings. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Well, let's not get our hopes up because she's not planning to get married again anytime soon, even if her relationship with Tom seems as perfect as it could possibly be. But honestly, I don't blame her. This hardline position isn't shocking, considering what her past marriages cost her, emotionally and financially. Sure, a long-lasting relationship is all she wants right now, but tying the knot for the third time is definitely out of the question, even though there's a cute little baby in the picture now. Although Kaley wasn't trying to be a mother anytime soon right in the middle of her busy career, it seems like everything changed when she fell in love with Tom. I mean, after her second divorce, she wasn't even looking for love, let alone having a baby. But some things are just meant to be. And even though it wasn't her goal, the couple was super excited when Kaley announced her pregnancy. Even though that's less than a year since they made their relationship official, it seems like Kaley's pace in relationships is always going to be unmatched. Having said that, it's great to see how things turned around for her once she met Tom, even if it started off with a sudden pregnancy. To top it off, it obviously kicked in with some script changes for her new show, based on a true story, which she was shooting at the time. Now, initially, her character wasn't supposed to be pregnant, but Cuoco managed to convince producers to work her real-life pregnancy into the show. I mean, it's also kind of how she broke the news, but at the same time, she's already excited to see how her newborn's gonna react when she sees her mother pregnant with her on television. That's right, the couple was blessed to welcome their daughter, Matilda, on March 30th, 2023. Fast forward to a couple of months later, and Kaley even celebrated her first Mother's Day. And let me tell you, the Instagram posts were adorable. Fans just can't get enough of them. And I know what you're thinking, is Tom okay with how the relationship's moving forward? Well, turns out he's not in a hurry to tie the knot either. Just think about it. They're committed to each other, and they're a family of 3 now, which seems to be more than enough for them right now. But also, I think he's just made peace with it. I mean, at the end of the day, as long as they're happy, even if it's without a ring, that's what matters, right? Plus, Kaley's thrown the thought of marriage out the window, and it's not like he can do a lot to convince her. So, Tom is super kind and supportive, and with parenting in the picture, the couple has put their lives on pause for the last few months as they deep dive into a new experience with their little one. At the same time, they're also focusing on their career, with a big surprise for their fans. That's right, they're hoping to collaborate on an exciting new project sooner than you think. That is, of course, only if the right project pops up. Obviously, it needs to be something super special for the cute couple. After all, it's going to be their first time working together. So, there you have it. From starting a family with Tom Pelphrey after 2 painful divorces, to tying the knot with Ryan Sweeting 6 months after their blind date, here's the real reason why Kaley Cuoco will not marry again.